hardest lessons that it's taken me years to accept is you really can't change people. I have friends and I got family that are in my life, and some of my friends, I know what they striving for. I know what they really want. And so when I don't see them doing that thing, or when I don't see them taking the right steps to get to the place that they said they want to be, I take it personal. And when I got family members and they struggling with their health, or they're struggling with things that they say they want to see change, but I don't see them taking the steps to make that change happen, I struggle with that. And I really take it personal. Even though Four Agreements tells you not to do that, I take it personal because it hurts me to see people that I love not win. Because when they're not winning, I see them hurting from it. And so when they hurting, I see them stressing, and I see them being anxious, and I see them just being a little bit more wound tight than they need to be because they're feeling the pressures of life, right? They're feeling the pressures of not getting what they want. And I see them feeling the pressures of getting up and going to work every day, trying to make the most of it while also somehow accepting the fact that they're not living in their purpose. And that's tough for me to see that, right? Because I know what it is that they want. I know that maybe that person wants to be married, or I know that guy wants to be a famous musician, or I know this person has a career in sports that they've been striving to achieve one day. You know, when you want the most for your people and you don't see them making the most out of their life, it's tough. It's a very tough thing to deal with because it hurts you to see them not strive for their goals. It hurts you to not see them do what you know they need to do to get farther in life. But I'm gonna tell you one thing that's taken me a long time to accept, and I finally got it. It took a long time, but I finally got to the place where I fully understand there's nothing that you can do for somebody who's not willing to do that thing for themselves. Because the truth is, no matter how much you love that person, no matter how much it hurts you to not see them accomplish their goals by their own actions, if they cannot do what it takes to get up every single day and apply themselves, to take their own initiative, to be intentional about their own energy and creating their own space, you can't get them to do it. And I done tried it all, trust me. I have literally sent Google links, YouTubes, paragraphs, quotes, information, studies, education, wisdom, knowledge, everything that could be shared to empower somebody to take one step and make the next one to get closer to their dreams. I've done that. And sometimes they take the information, but then more times often than not, I've seen them not do it or not do anything at all. I've had conversations with people that I love and listen to them cry to me and listen to them tell me how deeply and how bad they want something, just for a month to go by. And I check up and I say, how's everything going? Because the last conversation we had, it was just so motivational. It had so much energy, right? You thinking, okay, bet, well, when I leave this person, I go live my life. Next time I check up on that person, I know they're going to be making the right kind of moves. I know they're going to be, because we was just in that car and we was crying and we was just in that car relating to each other, and you was telling me how bad you wanted it. So I know when I check up on this person again, they're going to be getting active and they're going to be doing what they need to do. And sometimes I really be surprised. I go see that person and they nowhere closer to their dreams because they fell right back into that loop of nothingness. They fell right back into that loop of not doing what they said that they was going to do. And that's a tough place to be in, man. And I have done the absolutely wrong thing by thinking that you could jam it into their head until they get it. I done came into them situations and tried to be like Major Payne to my people, where I see them struggling with something and I try to step in and be the coach, step in and be that motivational figure, that person who tell them everything that they need to hear. Keep going, don't stop. Give me 10 push-ups, 20 suicides. I done tried to be whatever it is I could be. And a lot of those times I think I was misunderstood and people was turned off by my energy, when really all I wanted was the best for them. All I wanted to do was be that extra push to get that ball moving down that hill. Because sometimes you know people in your life who are so talented, people who got so much talent, people who are so creative, people who are so powerful, and they right at the edge. They almost got everything they absolutely needed. They could just have one push to get that ball rolling. Then they'd have momentum in their life. But confusingly enough, I've tried to push those people, and sometimes they got angry with me. Sometimes they got upset and irritated with me because they didn't want to be pushed, because they didn't want to be forced to move at a different pace other than the one that they accustomed to moving to. And that was very confusing for me, because I'm like, then why did you tell me what you wanted? Then why did you tell me and complain about what you didn't have and how you would do anything to receive this one thing? Why do we have those special moments where we related to each other and we bonded and you told me the secrets and the desires of your heart just for me to try to assist you in getting it, and then you get upset with me? And what I've come to understand is, when it comes to human nature, sometimes people don't want things as bad as they say they want it. You could be dealing with a person who is sick and they struggling and they tired of going to the hospital, tired of paying for medication, tired of continuously being in a place feeling like a victim. And you can try to inspire them and give them information and give them proof and evidence of the other way being the better way. And to your surprise, they will give you pushback and they will be stubborn and not hear what you got to say. And it's tough, man. It's a very difficult position to be in because when you love your people, you want the best for them. And as you know, to get the best, sometimes you got to go through some hard shit because nothing in life worth having gonna come easy. You got to work for it. You got to sweat. You got to be uncomfortable. You got to bend a little bit to get to the promised land. And unfortunately, I've been in several scenarios in my life where I've tried to push those people and realized they don't want to be moved. So where exactly does that leave you? That leaves you with that person still in your life. Maybe you pulled back a little bit because obviously you were too involved before and that person didn't like you pushing them, right? Because I'm the type of person, if I'm going to be around, then I'm going to do my job. And my job is to seek the best out of everybody. My job is to try to fulfill people and try to inspire and motivate people to get what's theirs, to get the next thing. I want to see you evolve because if we're not growing, then we're stagnant. And I don't want to see no stagnant people around me. Everything about myself that I'm most proud of, everything that brings me the most self-esteem and the most confidence is the fact that I accomplished things. It's the fact that I was at one position in my life and then I took steps, I made investments, I took losses, I learned, came back, and then I finally got to the goal that I had wanted. The goal that I wanted for myself, I finally was able to bask in the glory. And let me tell you something, when you're at the bottom of that mountain, looking up, trying to figure out how you're gonna get to the top, and then time goes by and then you find yourself at the top looking down, you understand that there's no greater feeling than that. Nothing feels better than doing what you said you would do. And nothing feels better than accomplishing your goals and doing something that you were absolutely scared and terrified to do, but then you finally did it. You crossed that finish line and you proved to yourself that you can do it and that you can do anything. And when you feel that feeling, you now want that feeling for everybody else around you. Because you know there's only one thing that'll truly keep you satisfied and fulfilled in life, and that's momentum, and that's accomplishing your goals, and that's progression. And you can only have progression by success. And when I say success, I don't mean you gotta have the first place trophy, but what you do gotta do is take the first step and try. Because the people who don't try are the people who are unhappy. They are the people who are complaining, the people who are uncontent with life. I don't want that for nobody that I care about, so I try to push them and motivate them. But I've had to learn the hard way that people will move when they're ready to move. People that I know that are sick, going to the hospital, spending money on medication, hating the way they feel, hating the way they look, hating what their life has become. And regardless of the conversations we would have, or the inspiration that I would throw them, or the motivation that I would try to provide them with. And I've went through a period of my life where I started to resent those people. I started to resent them because it was hard for me to conceptualize somebody wanting better, but then not doing better, but then still complaining. Choosing to be unhappy, choosing to stay in a place where you know you can't truly thrive, right? Because most of us are used to being forced to survive, right? Being in an environment where if you had things your way and you had all the resources to your fingertips, you wouldn't be there. But while you're there for the time being, you gotta do what you gotta do. And you gotta make the most of the situation. Most of us are used to that element of life. We're used to surviving. But the only way to thrive is to put yourself in position to feel better. You can't do better until you feel better. So it's tough for me. And I used to resent those people because I was like, well, why would you complain? Why would you cry? Why would you waste my time and bond with me and help me understand how you really feel just to not do nothing about it? Because now you know I know. It's like I feel like I'm your accountability partner now. So now you've told me what's holding you back, and I won't allow it to hold you back. I won't allow you to make excuses. I won't allow you to stand behind the thing that's been stopping you. Because I want more for you, and I love you more than that. Because I want more for you. And I've went through chapters of my life where I completely cut people off. I just completely eliminated myself from those people and stopped hanging around them, stopped hanging around the people that they were hanging around. I completely went the opposite way of where they was going because I didn't want that person to think that it was okay for me to know what they wanted and to see them not do it. And I thought by limiting myself and removing myself from their life, that maybe that would send the final message that they really needed. Maybe that would be the true gesture that they needed to get over that hill and to get over that hump. And the interesting thing about that is through my resentment, one thing that I learned is that I would meet up with those people later on in life. Because at some point, if you cut everybody off, you realize that you're lonely. And you can't just go make friends whenever you want because everybody is not deserving of your energy to be your friend. For somebody to be your friend, it has to make sense. You have to be aligned with that person. I got to a place in my life where I cut so many people off, I didn't have nobody around. And I was willing to accept that. I was willing to tough it out and be everything that I needed for myself. But after months go by and months go by and months go by, you get to a place where you also realize, like, damn, what's more important to me? Having friendship or having perfect people? And it's not that I wanted them to be perfect because I'm not perfect myself, but I got to a place where I had to realize what is more valuable to me. Because at the end of the day, just because that person could not come through on those couple of things that you know that they're struggling with, doesn't mean you should forget about the fact that they make you laugh. Doesn't mean you should forget about the fact that that person is your friend and that you love them and that you guys bonded for a reason, not because of what they couldn't do, but you bonded because of what they could do. And I went from resenting people and cutting people off and removing myself from them, from realizing all over again that, you know what? I love you more than what you can do for yourself. And who am I to add more judgment to you for what you can't do for yourself? Because be honest with yourself. We all know how hard it is in our bodies when we're dealing with regret and we're dealing with lack of ability and failure. So imagine what it's like to be that person. You don't think that it might be hard for them to look themselves in the mirror? Like they don't also know that they're not doing the thing that they said that they wanted to do? I'm sure it's hard for them. I'm sure they struggle with it. But sort of like addiction, even though they know they should stop, they can't. Or they at least haven't got to a place where they figured out exactly how to do it. And here I am being the person that was once their friend, instead of loving them through the pressure and giving them an unlimited amount of time to figure out their life. I'm putting them on a time crunch and a time schedule, and they're running out of time, and now I've punished them for that. Because maybe me being in their life was the motivation that they needed. I'm not saying that I gotta lay down and just forget about what they told me because their inability to achieve it. But what I am saying is that when you love somebody, loving them is loving them through what they can't do. Loving them is loving them through their mistakes and loving them through their imperfection. And that's just something that I struggle to deal with. And I still deal with it every day. Every day I see people that I love and people that I communicate with, and they tell me what's going on in their life, and I try to help them. I try to point them in the right direction to make more money, or I try to point them in the right direction to get the help that they say that they want. And every day I deal with the fact that I see them not taking those steps to get closer to their healing or get closer to the progress that they claim that they want. But you know what? I gotta love them through it anyway. Because at the end of the day, we all need each other. And who am I to punish them for something that they're already punishing themselves for? That's not gonna get the goal done. That's not gonna get the vision accomplished at all. And if I really love them, if I really, 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 really love them, then I gotta love them enough to be patient. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna love them more than what they can't do. I'm gonna love them for everything that they can do. And I'm gonna leave it to God to take care of them. So yeah, man, that's something that I wanted to share with y'all because it's something that I've been dealing with. And I feel like I'm getting better at it. I used to do it all wrong, but every day I get a step closer to doing it the right way. And before we get out of here, remember, we call it halfway up because we never finish rising. And whenever I'm working, I will remember that done is better than perfect. And if I'm satisfied with my work, then I'm living in my purpose. Halfway up.